What are the reasons behind Israel's rejection of France's involvement in this ceasefire committee, of course?
Thank you for hosting me. At the outset, I would like to say that the Israeli-French relations were not at all good for over 3 decades. In fact, in the early 50s, the French side received the nuclear project or draft project from Israel. And as well, the French president in 1994 has undergone an assault in the Al-Aqsa Mosque by Israeli forces, security forces. And as well, in the year 2003, regarding the Iraq colonization, in fact, there was a lot of discords at that time and a lot of disagreements between Israel and France. This is on one side. On the other side, the Israelis are only good and excel only at military assaults, but they are not at all eloquent when it comes to political negotiations. And Israel just focuses on strengthening its relations with the United States because they believe that the states are going to be subsidizing and providing support for Israel no matter what. And now the UNIFIL troops deployed in Lebanon are considered to be a failure by Netanyahu. And Netanyahu just thinks that the major role of the UNIFIL troops deployment in Lebanon is just to protect Israel. But in fact, this is not the viewpoint of the international community and its perception on the role of the UNIFIL troops deployed in Lebanon. In fact, a lot of Netanyahu just wants the United States to be present and observant of the situation in Lebanon and nothing else and no other country.
Right. Mr. Nicolas, how has President Macron's criticism of Israel's military actions influenced the public opinion in France regarding the conflict in Gaza and in Lebanon?
I'm delighted to join you today. The short answer is President Macron's comments did not have a lot of impact in France. It's really a cruel irony because if you watch the news in the Middle East or North Africa, when he made these critiques of Israel, it had a big echo. And even, in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, if you listen to reporters, it was also impactful. In France itself, it had very little impact, probably because the French now have bigger fish to fry. So we're no longer, and I'm glad the other guest mentioned Iraq and President Chirac, because in the days of the Iraq crisis, when my friend, President Jacques Chirac, was still president, France was a completely different nation with a very different position internally and externally. Today, it's a different world, and France is very weak. And in the past few months, really in the past 16 or 17% of French voters trust him. So